Do not start a second business before you watch this video. If you've been following me, you understand I'm an entrepreneur who has decided to create streams of income for myself, but also on a journey of self-improvement and personal growth. And a few months ago, about 8 months ago, I started a new business which was away from my original business. My original business is I've been in the party rental business, been renting out stuff for almost 9 years. And this year, I started a shoe cleaning business which has been running for the past 8 months. And guess where the stream of income has been coming from? From the original business, which is the party rental business. And this is what I can tell you that I've learned in this entire process. Now, we had a branch that we opened up, which didn't work out well. And I felt like there's no way I felt like opening up a new branch into a new location. Shift the business to a new location would make me more sense, which I did. Now, whatever I'm talking about is money being sunk into all these processes, finding new locations, establishing, make sure things are working. And still we haven't made money 8 months down the road. However, in this process, I've learned a lot of things. And this is what I wish I could have done better. Okay? If I was to go back in those days and look at myself and say, what could I have done better? One, when I was starting this business, I had no idea entirely what this business entails. So when I was starting fresh from the start. Now, remember, I had something I've been doing for the past 9 years. I understand this properly very well. But I didn't know how to expand it. I didn't know how to grow it. And I felt like the only way I could grow my income was to move away from the original business and go and diversify into something else. Now, these are two things. Probably if I were to go back, I wouldn't have done that. I think I should have gone back, looked at the business that I was running, the party rental business, and know what was working and what wasn't working, and fix problems there before I divert cash into this other new venture. I've learned shoe cleaning is an entire business and needs a whole set of new skills. It's a service-based business. You need to know how to restore shoes. You need to know how to clean. You need to know how. Then there are other costs involved that I didn't know. You need to look at things like rent, power. You have people who work for you 24/7. You need to teach them this skill, which you also don't have an idea about. You're learning a new business completely from the word to go. Now, most importantly, what also is different is when I look at the costs involved in both businesses are different. With the party rental business, you have a warehouse where you pay a certain amount of rent, huge space, store stuff there, and then be able to add inventory and then rent it out. Here, you have different costs coming in. You have city council fees, you have different things going on, and then you need to actually work on these shoes and make sure they're okay. What I would say is I wouldn't want to do a service-based business going forward because it entirely is dependent on how good you are in delivering the service. That's one lesson I have learned. Service-based businesses, I don't feel like I would want to do that anymore. Then secondly, if you have something going on, instead of trying to divert, find ways of trying to make it better. See what you're doing wrong and make it better. Probably not advertising well, you don't have the right products. Probably you're not paying attention, your customer support and all that. I should have worked on that before diverting money here. Thirdly, is I've come to appreciate the power of focus. In this whole process, when all things have been going a bit hard, I had to sit back and ask myself, okay, what went wrong with the party rental business, with the events business? And I realized probably my inventory wasn't that broad enough, and I invested more money and added more items. I added something called pipe and rep. And I'll tell you, the money I invested in pipe and rep, for example, we invested quite about 12,000 USD, and in a period of the same period as the shoe business, I've been able to recoup about 6,000 USD. Probably the payback period will be about a year, and this will still make money. And every time I rent them out, I make I make 15 times what I would have been making in the shoe cleaning business. Here, I'm collecting small pieces of money. People are paying small pieces. You're doing too much work cleaning so many shoes in order for you to make money. Here, it is one go and then you're collecting a huge chunk of money. And I've come to understand I would have concentrated here, made it much more better, added much more better products, made my systems better, everything, and probably it would have grown. But I also got capital from that and now started borrowing it in this area. Another lesson I've learned is everything under the sun, everything you do has potential to become big and great as soon as you dedicate and put your mind to it. Yes, is the shoe cleaning business a profitable business? Yes, it is. If it has the right person behind it. If you make sure you're giving it your best, your time. I've seen people who are building these businesses and they have 13 branches, 13 locations. They understand this, they are into this, and they're willing to go all the way. They've added different things. Now, this is a section I didn't understand. This is a section I don't have an idea about. This is a section I feel like I'm just figuring out everything from the word go, and it has distracted me, taken my focus away from what earns the money to what doesn't earn the money. And you understand where the attention is where the time goes, where the attention is where the energy goes. So I feel like it has robbed me, and I feel like the power of focus here comes into play in whatever you do. And I think everything has potential to become as big and as great as it can be, as long as you give it time, focus, and attention. Actually, I'm coming to believe that the power of specialization and focus is a key factor when you're a business person or you're an entrepreneur. The other lesson I have learned is when I went back and did a sit back and looked at my business, especially the party rental business. I wanted to understand how I can grow the product portfolio. How can I be able to serve this area better? And I was asking myself, what would I have done with the same money I got and invested in this other venture? And one thing came to my mind. I was like, there are problems within the event industry that are there for me to solve, and I shouldn't have moved away, because the more I paid attention, visited every site we work at, talked to every client, returned their calls, made sure I built the website and everything, and I paid more attention to this business, I've come to understand there are quite a number of problems within the same niche, which is the events niche, that I could have solved instead of solving a new problem of that issues. I could have solved, probably I would have gone into the manufacturing section of the events business, help people in the rental business solve their problems, which would have still been within it. I have already a market base, I understand the business, I understand the customers, I understand the language, than trying to solve a new problem. Now, solving this new problem, the shoe cleaning problem, has put me into a different area. I have to deal with different dynamics, different people, different suppliers. Literally, it's too much. And when you don't have a fully established entity where you have systems and structures, you have staff, support, everything, you end up being the same person doing everything. Plus, you also lose identity, people who know you as the face. Because for a small business like mine, you are the face of this business. You represent this brand. And if people cannot trust you and they're like, we don't understand you, we don't understand where you fall, they get skeptical in giving you business or work. So I think as the business owner, sometimes focusing and doing what you have to do makes better sense. And there is a lot we can do for these businesses. You ask yourself, are you doing the right, are you creating content for your business? Are you advertising well? Are you running ads? Facebook had blocked me from running ads for about 2 years, and they kept telling me there was something wrong with my account. And it's only in this way that I said I need to fix and find this problem that I was able to figure it out. I'm like, okay, I wish I'd done this a bit earlier, meaning I'd moved my focus away from the business that worked, thinking it was failing, but I was failing it. And I feel like most people there are failing their businesses because we think they are not working, but probably there is something wrong we are doing that is slowing your hustle down. But all in all, in most cases, I appreciate the journey, and I like that I was able to take this journey. Because if I didn't take a need, I wouldn't have understood some of these challenges. And actually, the mistakes I made, especially in finding the first location, also there were mistakes in finding the second location. I now understand if I'm to do a brick and mortar business in the near future, or if I'm to ever try to invest in that kind of area, because I've decided that I may not go back to employment. I don't know, but I think I've decided and I want to pursue entrepreneurship. I don't know whether it's a career or a profession, but I want to pursue entrepreneurships. I want to solve problems and I want to be able to fix them in exchange for a fee. And one thing I didn't understand was the power of location, where you set up your business. Right now, I've understood, because I'll give you a scenario. Where we had our first setup, the market made us feel like nobody would pay us a certain amount of money for making sure we clean their shoes. The market made us feel like we're supposed to live within a certain, And then when we move to the other location where we are right now, the market there, what we are charging them is different, and they are okay to the idea. Of course, the sales have gone slightly up, not as much as we want, but the sales have gone slightly up, and business is moving. But we've seen a difference in the clientele, in the customer, and everything. And after that shift and move, I've now come to understand why certain businesses, the big brands, are situated where they are situated. I now understand why a KFC is where it is in your area. I understand why Shell, Total, all those businesses are where they are, because they will want to understand the place, the location. It plays a big role. I believe if I'd chosen probably a different location from where the second location is, we'll be killing it in a different way. But all in all, I've understood that location, there are certain factors that you have to consider before you set up a business. Business plan, all these things, the business plan answers all these things. Location, the population, the people there, competition, everything. Like, you really need to know these things. Of course, you want to start from there and say, okay, let me go with my gut. That is what my grandmother would tell me, but I think you need to really go down to the basics and understand a business plan, because it will help you answer these questions. Ask yourself this question: how big is the market? What is the kind of the market you want to serve? How do you want to be situated? Do your customers drive? Do they walk? Where are they going to come from? What are they putting on? And all this. Now, I didn't consider all this. For me, it was a gut feeling of like, I want to do this. I'm in my self-improvement journey. I'm going to do this. I want to invest. And then, boom, I went for it. And then later, I'm like, oh, planning could have been very important. And coming up with a plan, especially a business plan, could have been a very nice idea. But all in all, I appreciate the lessons, because it's like I'm graduating, I'm getting a master's degree, which probably I couldn't have learned if I hadn't tried this, despite the fact that the lessons have been quite expensive. That's what I had to share today, and just remember to click subscribe, follow, like, and comment. I'll have more content about business, self-improvement, and personal growth.